You've decided to lose some weight. Brilliant. In this video, we're going to cover how to actually do that at home and during COVID, so stick around for that. My name is Mark and I'm here to help you live a better, healthier life. My goal is to help as many people as I can get into shape and improve their quality of life. Now, if this is the first time here and you want to learn more about the practical and effective ways to improve your health, your fitness and your overall wellness, or if you're just interested in knowing more about fitness and nutrition, please do start by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel so that you are always up to date with new videos as they're released. And now, without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so you've decided that it's time to lose some weight. You're at home, you're stuck at home due to quarantine. So the first thing there is you've already started with that mindset. You've got the mindset that you're actually looking to lose weight while you're at home. So that's the first thing that is great to have. You've started looking at videos, you started looking at some online blogs and articles online of what you can do and how you can do it, which is brilliant. So you're doing some research. So that mindset is the step one. You've got it. You're looking for a video. You're watching this, which is great. But the next thing you need to do is actually start setting yourself some goals. Okay. Now that goal could be to become fitter, or it could be to lose some weight. It could be to lose 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, whatever it is. But my advice is set those goals as small goals. Personally, I aim to lose £1 to £2 every week. If I'm in that range, I'm happy. That is having the mindset of I am going to lose weight, I'm going to do it at home, and my goal is achievable. If I lose more than that, fantastic. If I lose a little bit less than that, not so good, but I'm still losing some. And the idea is to keep moving forward with small, achievable goals so you feel good that you're still losing actual weight. The next bit for that is actually you're going to have good weeks and bad weeks. There are going to be ups and downs. So don't actually give up. Always keep focusing on those goals you've set for yourself. That 1 or 2 pounds a week. If you don't lose anything that week, it's not the end of the world. You are on a downward trend. If you put on 1 week, you just need to refocus and work harder the following week. So whatever happens on this journey, don't lose that initial mindset of I am going to lose weight. Keep that in the front of your mind, because you will have the odd week where it goes up and down because of circumstances. You just need to refocus, gather yourself up and go for it the next week. So for me, your mindset you've set yourself some little goals. That's what you should be doing before you actually even start. If you have ups and downs, don't give up with them. Don't. Just keep on going. Right? If you're on the right track, you're on the right track. Just keep up with it. Be consistent. Keep going forward with it. And the biggest one is you've done some research. You've looked at some articles, blogs, watched a few videos. That's great. But the next bit's the hard bit. You've actually got to start. And you've got to start by getting the right food in the house, by setting yourself a routine for your exercise, doing what you can, and focusing very much on your weight and your weight loss. And part of that is taking that initial weight, measuring yourself on the scales, making a note of it, and actually starting. Not tomorrow, not next week, but actually now. So those are the things to do before and up to actually starting to lose weight. You've made a great start. You've done the research. You're in that frame of mind. You've got the mindset. I am going to lose weight at home during COVID. That's great. You've started, you've taken that initial weight, you've put it in your book, you've made a note. Hopefully you'll never see that number again because it'll be going down from there. So you've started. What's next? What's the practical bits? And we'll talk about those now. So you've taken that first weight, you've started. Great. The first thing to talk about is food. Food matters a lot. Not just how much you're eating of it, but what you're actually eating. One of the best bits of advice I've had over the years is a thing called volume eating. So you eat lots of vegetables, you fill up your plate as much as you can with vegetables, you cut down, not cut out, a lot of the carbohydrates. So less potatoes, less rice and pasta. more bulky vegetables, your cabbages, your broccolis, and all of those pieces, fennel. There's lots of things out there, right? But the things that are really quite bulky, so you can have a massive bowl full of food, right? But you're not actually eating that many calories. Protein's really good for filling you up, but try and cut down on the things that are very calorie dense. Okay, so vegetables are not very calorie dense. Quite a lot of fruit is not very calorie dense, but it makes a massive difference between having, 6 apples, because that's quite a lot to eat, versus a glass of apple juice, which has got about the same amount of calories. A small glass of apple juice has got about the same calories as 6 whole apples, but 6 whole apples will fill you up a lot more than drinking just some apple juice. So the same thing's true with food, and it matters a lot. You'll see a TD calculator down below. That'll tell you roughly how many calories you should be eating to either maintain your weight or lose weight. Right, so have a look there. They call it cutting. Right, so on the TD calculator, fill it in with the weight you've just taken. It'll tell you how many calories you should be having on every day in order to lose weight. Just select the cutting option at the bottom, and then try and stick to that. If you go a little bit under it, brilliant. If you go a little bit over it, not too bad. But that should lead you, if you follow those numbers, that should lead you to about a pound lost every week. It's manageable, but have things that are bulky and lower in calories than things that are more dense and packed with them. The obvious one is you can have about a quarter or just less than a quarter of a cheeseburger to 2 cups of broccoli, which would fill your plate, and you probably would struggle to eat that much if you were even going to try and eat that much broccoli. But it's one of those things that the food matters a lot. Now, whether you are going to be eating 3 times a day with some snacks, whether you're going to be eating 1 time a day, intermittent fasting, there's lots of things out there that may work for you. Personally, I like intermittent fasting. I generally eat between 10 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night, and I do have 2 or 3 meals. I generally don't snack because I'd rather have a bigger portion, but that is what works for me. But the food you eat and when you eat it will matter for you. So try and fill up on food. Try and get the foods that are bulkier so that you can actually sit there with a whole bowl of food and feel like you are stuffed at the end of it, but also feeling quite good that actually there's not that many calories in it. So therefore you're feeling full, you're feeling good, but you're also aiming to lose the weight. And that is one of the big things. The food you eat is actually at least important, if not more important, than anything else you'll do. Okay, fill up, go for the calorie light options rather than those calorie dense things, the cakes, the sweets, the apple juice. Have a couple of apples rather than a glass of apple juice. And that leads me on to the exercise. Now, depending on how quickly you've been putting on weight in COVID, you might not be needing to make that many changes during the quarantine period at home. But every change you make will help you and make it easier to lose weight over the week. And it's just about looking at it and going, right, I've been putting on a couple of pounds a month. So in order to lose a couple of pounds a month, if I cut a little bit of my calories, if I eat food that is more filling and less calorie dense, and I do a little bit more exercise than I was, that will turn it around from putting 1 or 2 pounds on per month to losing a couple of pounds per month. And then how much you want to push that depends on, quite frankly, how much you've got to lose. What's your goal? Obviously, the more reach of a goal in terms of how much you want to lose, if you want to lose 3 or 4 pounds in a week every week, then you need to up the exercise. You need to be a little bit more intense with it. You also need to cut down on the food a little bit more and balance it out. It's hard to do it one way or the other. So food matters a lot. Exercise matters quite a lot in terms of doing more than you were. So if you went for a 10-minute walk and in the months that you were putting on a couple of pounds, then step it up to 10 minutes walk every day, half an hour walk every day, doing some light exercise in the house. Yoga's a great one. I sound very odd saying that, but yoga's a great one, particularly for bigger people, because it starts you getting a little bit more flexible. It starts working on your balance, and it has no impact on your joints. When you're carrying extra weight, even a little bit of extra weight, it does take a toll on your joints and everything else. So there's plenty of things out there that you can actually do that are low impact, won't hurt your body, and will get you doing more exercise than you were previously. So judge it for yourself. If your goal is to lose a pound a week, then you just need to make some small changes. If your goal is to lose 3-4 pounds a week, then you need to make some bigger changes. And those changes come in balancing between the food you're eating and the food you need to reduce it to, the amount of exercise you have been doing, and what you are going to be doing more than you were before. And between those, you can balance it out. Obviously, if you get through a week where you haven't lost anything, you know you need to cut the calories a little bit, and you need to push the exercise a little bit and balance it out. And that brings me to a point where one of the big things for me is consistency. If you're not consistently doing that and actually tracking your exercise and tracking your food and controlling how much you're eating, if you're not doing that every day, when you get to the end of the week, you won't know particularly where you've gone wrong. But if you're following that volume eating approach, you've got the TD calculator giving you how many calories you should be eating in any given day, and you're staying about on point with that as your cutting value, which is about 500 calories below your maintaining level. You're doing a little bit more exercise and you're tracking that as well. Then by the end of the week, you can honestly look at it and get on the scales and go, right, I've lost a pound. I've lost 2 pounds. If you do the same thing again the following week, you'll be about the same. Now, obviously, as time goes on and you get fitter and healthier and you start losing the weight and getting closer to your ideal weight, then you need to keep readjusting how many calories you're eating and maybe pushing the exercise a little bit more, because your body will get used to it. So you do need to alter it a little bit as you go forward. And I always do that on a weekly basis and would recommend you did the same, because that way you can actually go, right, what did I weigh last week? What do I weigh now? Okay, I've lost a pound. Brilliant. Next week, I want to lose the same pound. Do I need to cut my calories a little bit? Do I need to do a little bit more exercise? Just keep an eye on it as you go forward. But consistency is the place to be. It's one of those things, when I first started, I used to cheat like mad every weekend and undo all the good work I'd done during the week. So I'd have a really good week. I'd be really focused. I'd do my exercise. I'd track my calories. And then at the weekend, I'd have a takeaway and blow it all. And then the next week, you're constantly on the back foot because you're trying to lose the weight you've munched on at the weekend, which then makes you have a much harder week to get that good feeling of being down at the end of the week. So whatever works for you is great, but I find that consistency, if you want to lose weight at home, right, consistent approach to it is the way forward. So what I'm saying there is, don't starve yourself. Don't eat 1,000 calories, because actually if you eat 1,000 calories for 3 or 4 days, you are just by the end of it just going to want to eat everything in sight, particularly if it's not healthy and calorie dense and sugars and all the rest of it, because you've starved yourself for that period of time. I think if you want to lose weight consistently and in a long term at home, the trick is to be full and to be content with what you're eating and not particularly to be missing anything as you go through. So consistency. And here's the last one. I hate water. I do. It's bland, tasteless, and really not for me. I try putting some fruit juice and things in it and make it feel better. I drink some fizzy water rather than just plain flat tap water. I still don't like it. Water is not something I'm ever going to love. But here's the fact, and I'll try and dig out. I found a really good YouTube video on it a while back, which was a TED Talk. And the fact is that when you're burning fat, when you're using your fat reserves up, when you've cut your calories a little bit and your body's needing to use its fat reserves, the waste products from that are water and carbon dioxide. And the only way we can support that mechanism is by keeping hydrated and drinking water. So I know that's difficult. I know, and I do cheat. A black coffee for me I class as water, because at least having a couple of big mugs of that in the morning is better than drinking fizzy juice. Right? So I do cheat. But they recommend you drink about 3 litres of water every day. And that's really crucial if you're actually trying to lose weight, particularly fat. Because if you haven't got enough water, your body isn't able to get rid of the fat. So if you're dehydrated, you're making it harder for yourself. So whether it's black coffee, black tea, green tea, whether it's water from the tap or bottled water, or fizzy water that's just plain, or whether you can find something to put in it that gives it a little bit of flavour, lemon juice or whatever, try and increase the amount of water you are drinking. That has a few benefits. It helps your body break down the fat. That's my goal. That helps me. It also makes you feel fuller. So if you drink a glass of water before you have your dinner, you won't eat as much. It's been proven. Okay, so it's one of those things where if you drink water, it will make you feel fuller. It will help your body stay hydrated, which is good. It will also help your body break down fat reserves. And if you're trying to lose weight, that's probably what you're trying to achieve. So whether you hate it or not, water is a key part of this. So if you're actually wanting to lose weight at home, you need to increase your water intake, or most people need to increase their water intake. And that is one of those things where I probably find that one of the hardest things I do on a weekly basis. I've actually got 3 bottles that I then fill up from the tap, I put in the fridge, and that reminds me to actually go to the fridge, drink that water. That is my day's water intake. And if I get to the evening time and I've not drunk that water, then I know that I'm not drinking enough. And that was a great tip from somebody who's watched one of these videos. So that is great. So food matters a lot. Track it. Actually things that are bulky and full of volume, so you feel full, you have a big plate of food, you feel great from doing it, but you're actually tricking your body because you're not giving it as many calories. In terms of the exercise, look at what you've been doing that's been helping you put on weight to this point where you've decided to lose it, and you need to increase your exercise. Be realistic. Don't go from couch to trying to run 10k, not straight away, but build up your exercise week on, week out. Be consistent with it and actually track what you're doing, so that when you get to the weekend, when you get to your weigh-in time, whenever that is, and I always try and have it at the same time of day so that it's predictable and repeatable, right? But when you've been consistent all week, not starved yourself, not done that whole yo-yo thing in terms of starve yourself, stuff your face, starve yourself, stuff your face. You'll get to the end of the week, you'll have a weigh-in, you'll go, brilliant. Okay, I now know where I am. I've lost half a pound, 2 pounds, whatever it is. And I now just need to repeat that next week. So that for me are the 2 things to think about. 2 things, there's lots of things. But the group of things to think about before and up to starting, and then the things to think about after starting. And if you do those things, and if you're honest with yourself, that is how you will lose weight at home during quarantine. It's the little things, and it's being consistent with them. I hope that's helped. I just want to say thank you very much for watching along another video. Please do hit the like button, that helps with the Google algorithm, and we'll get this shared out to more people. If you do like the content and you want to know more, please do hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.